I'm doing some bigger birds in this style. And I just have to finish these two. Sort of a mix between carving and just pushing it in. I try not to remove too much clay. I like to work with one piece of clay and seeing how far I can get without adding any or taking much away. So it becomes this kind of process. It becomes a lot of like I push it in more than I carve out. These pieces are hollow, and before I close them up, I blow air into them and then close them, and that creates resistance so I can push, and the air is pushing outward, so I can really push into it. Like I'm using kind of a little force there. So this is a wood-fired piece. Let me grab these over here. And you'll see this is how I'll push with different sides of the stone, get different sizes. My thought is I want to make these very organic pieces, and if I'm going to make it organic, I'm going to use tools that are also that. So this could be this small and pushed in, and all these is organic. And so this is a new concept. I always do the indentation on that, the outside, and then this I go in. Well, I'm not going to put my hand in this. It's too fragile right now. But I take the tools and push the stones from the inside to have that texture. They work their way magically into my work. It was not planned. It was never something planned. I just had this collection of stones, and then I had them in my studio, and one day I was working on one of those pieces, and it just naturally came into being. The way my brain works, I see it in pictures, and I just saw the stones and the piece I was working on and the texture. Like I just saw it before I ever even tried. So that, and then I just refined that, honed that, and I've been using it ever since. And I don't draw anything before I do it because my brain doesn't work that way. It's not useful to me to draw it. I can't translate 2D into 3D very well. Very rarely do I draw things before I make them. I'll have an image will come into my head, and then I'll get a piece of clay out and quickly sketch it in clay. I put that, here's something interesting. I work on an animal until it's almost completely finished, and as you see, there are no eyes on them. I can't put eyes on until the very end. Like, not until the very end can I put eyes on. Because, and I couldn't figure out why that was. And then one day it occurred to me that when I put eyes on something early, and I had to remove the eyes while I was working on it because I was pushing it and distorting it, and it was looking at me, and I felt really bad. Like it had become something, it had become real, some sentient. It had some sentience with the eyes, and so I had to erase the eyes on this so I could do these really terrible things to it. Pull its beak tweak off and, you know, just whatever modifications